Hi, I'm MyCoal and I'm a top 8 Iron Fist global last season. I've been maining Iron Fist since the game came out, and I'm here to give out one tip for every hero as Iron Fist. Alright, let's start off with a general playstyle tip. I start off by using my wall climb to get to places the enemies can't see, and I look to target the most isolated support in the back because that's the most vulnerable person on the team, and I go in by using my normal punches. Then once they start looking at me, I block all their shots using Dragon's defense, and either look up and punch to get out or use your kick. And since you have your empower punches, I will go ahead and kill the tanks in the front lines because his empower punches does % damage. With that said, let's go into the matchup tips. Against Angela, if she's flying in the air trying to get your supports, use your normal punches to track her because the normal punches has better lock on. If she's in her axe form, try to block most of her hits. You should do more damage than Angela does to you, so you should win the fight easily. Against Hulk, his goal is trying to kill your supports in the background, so you have to help them with your empower punches. You shred Hulk out of his Hulk form, then finish Bruce Banner with a kick. Against Monster Hulk, there's nothing you can really do, but if you pop ult, you absolutely nuke his health bar, so try to parry every shot and you would survive, but I don't recommend going against Monster Hulk. Against Cap, he's gonna look to dive your backline, but he has no sustains and you should punish that with your empower punches. You absolutely shred him and he's forced to escape. He's one of your top priorities as Iron Fist. Against Strange, you're mostly scared of his dark magic explosion, so try to save your block when you're going in as he will try to explode when you get close and you can use that bonus health to kill him easily. Against Emma Frost, if you see her pop diamond form on you to try to choke you down, block and try to escape. But if her diamond form is on cooldown, you can go in with your empower punches and kill her because there's nothing she can do. I don't recommend going up against Groot alone because of his high damage output, but most Groots will be looking to trap you in his walls to do the most damage, so just try to look up and get out or kill him because you do a lot of damage to him. Magneto is probably one of your easiest interactions. There's nothing he can do and you go right through his shield, so just absorb most of his hits, and if you didn't know, you can block his ult and get max overshield. Penny is one of the hardest tanks you can go up against because you're a melee hero, but if you time it right, the spiders will give you max overshield, and use the empower punches to break the spider nest. Penny players will look to stack mines in one area, so react fast and block it to get max overshield and kill her. You basically 100% counter the thing because there's nothing he can do to stop you. Your goal here is to block when he's about to swing and get the most bonus health you can get to survive. The lightning force is Thor's highest damaging move, so try to save your block for that. But other than that, Thor has no shield or way of escape. Venom will try to dive your backline, so you should force him off high ground. He has a lot of HP, so it's really hard to kill him. If he doesn't swing out, you can punish him by using empowered punches. If you didn't know, you can block the initial damage from Venom's ult, but you will still get anti-heal. BP is someone I do not recommend fighting. He has insanely fast mobility, and if you stand next to your team, you're just feeding him spear marks. I would just try to ignore him or punish him if he misses a dash. Black Widow, in my opinion, is one of the hardest heroes to dive because she has a stun. So I recommend throwing 2 or 3 punches at her so she starts panicking and block both the kick and the stun to finish her off. If you see an isolated Blade, that's basically a free 1v1 because Blade can't do anything against you, even at full charge. Block all of his slashes and you'll be fine. If you didn't know, you can still get anti-healed if you block the initial damage from his ult. Since DareDevil just came out, this might change, but try your best to predict when he's gonna use his X on his nunchucks, since that's how he deals the most damage. He does not deflect your punches back to you, so you don't have to worry about that. Any good Hawkeye can just one-shot you if you try to dive in his line of sight. So try to approach an unexpected angle and block if he panics to use explosive arrows or his katana slash. Against Hela, you want to try to flank so she doesn't 2-tap you. Hela players will most likely panic and use the stun, so block. And if they use the bird to run away, you can use the momentum of your empower punches to chase her down. With that said, if the Hela ults, it's your job to burst her down because you do the most damage, and kick on the ground when you successfully killed her. Do not use your empower punches against Torch. You're better off using normal punches because it tracks flyers better. The moment he slams on the ground onto your team, kick him because he's most likely low. In the Iron Fist mirror match, whoever blocks first loses. If the enemy Iron Fist starts punching you with empower punch, block all of his punches for more overshield and finish him off. Against Iron Man, you want to force him off of shooting your team. Most Iron Man panic and fly away, so just keep punching him because there's nothing he can do. If he's getting healed and is using overdrive, just block and retreat. If you didn't know, you can absorb maximum pulse and gain max overshield. Against Magik, you have two options. You can either get shield from the demon she summoned from her portal, or block the initial damage when she dives, but I don't recommend finding Magik, because she does do a lot of burst damage. Now I generally ignore Mr. Fantastic because he just doesn't die. Also, in his big form, I don't think you get the percent damage even though he has 800 health. Against Moon Knight, you just want to make him panic and use his Ankh on you. He's most likely gonna spam at his Ankh, so that's a lot of free overshield. And if he tries to fly away, you can use your empower punches to finish him off. Against Namor, you just want to wait until he uses his bubble because he's very vulnerable after using it. Also, don't try to go for his turrets because you will just die. After the recent nerf, Phoenix is gutted, but against Iron Fist, she is still very strong. If you manage to block her stun, you can keep fighting her, but if you miss, just get out. Another cool interaction is you can just block her whole entire ult and save your team. Always do this in game and see your win rate skyrocket. Honestly, just don't dive Psylocke because she can poke you from range, and when you get close, she can just dash behind you and break your camera. If you're trapped inside her ult, you can block to get overshield and get out. Wanda mains have no skill, so they would just panic and use their disappear ability, but you can just track her in her invis and kill her. Of course, you can just block her ult as well. There's nothing you can really do against Spider-Man, but just get him off your backline so he swings away. Spider-Man players won't really target you for pull off the maps, but if you accidentally get pulled, just use your empower punches or use your kick to get out. If you get trapped in Squirrel Girl stun, try to block right away because you're very vulnerable in the stun. But if you manage to block the stun, just use the overshield to finish her off. If Star-Lord starts using his spinning attack, you can just get a perfect 3 parry unless he cancels it early and then just finish him off with the overshield. If you catch him lacking and trying to escape, just use your normal punches as it's good for chasing flyers. Against Storm, use your normal punches to engage as it has better tracking, but if she does too much damage to you, block and get out. If you see Punisher's turret, flank and distract him from your team. He'll probably turn around to attack you and block to get maximum overshield. And you can do some crazy air movements so it's harder for him to hit you than you to hit him. If you're diving him, he's most likely going to switch to his shotgun, so the moment he switches, you should block and use the over health to finish him off. Bucky is probably one of your biggest counters. If you try to dive him, he can just uppercut and ground you, so you can't escape even if you have maximum overshield. I still wouldn't recommend fighting him because he does more damage than you. Wolverine is only really good against tanks. If he grabs you using his leap ability, hold down your block mid-air so when you get up you can instantly get overshield and use that overshield to punish Wolverine, who is now out of position. Against Adam, most of his value comes from his burst healing, and in a real game, Adam never seems to die. So your goal as Fist is to bait out all his cooldowns and then finish him off. Against Cloak and Dagger, they mostly panic and put down their heal bubble. The biggest thing to watch out for is the invulnerable blind. Once you block that and get overshield, just finish them off. Against Invisible Woman, wait for her to use her vortex because you can get a guaranteed 3 block overshield. Then use the empower punches to finish her off. Most of the time you should just ignore Jeff because you know he's gonna run away anyways. But if he's underwater, use your normal punches to get better tracking on him, and when he resurfaces, use your kick to finish him off. If he tries to ult your team, block to not get eaten and use your empowered punches to save your team. Against Loki, he's impossible to dive if he has his lamps. Most Lokis panic and use their lamps way too early. You can safely dive later knowing that the lamps is on cooldown. Luna is really vulnerable when she does not have freeze, so try your best to predict when the snowball is coming. If you get frozen, the best thing to do is to retreat. Against Mantis, try your best to predict when the sleep is coming. Keep in mind the sleep does not give you overshield. If you get slept in the middle of a big fight, it's GG's. Against Rocket, look for his revive beacon. Rocket can't really duel you one-on-one, so most of them just run away. Use your normal punches to track him in the air better. With the new rocket buff, it makes his ult OP, but you can just melt it with your empowered punches. Make sure you're safe and getting healed when doing this. Against Ultron, use your triple jumps to make your movements unpredictable to make him have a hard time hitting you. Use your normal attack to track him in the air better. When he ults, you can also distract him by using your normal punches, and he might just look at you and not heal his team.